Boom. All right, Robbie, Luke, welcome.
Hello.
Now, where are you guys at the moment?
We are Shell Harbour near Wollongong. A
Yeah.
beautiful spot down here, beautiful beaches. There's some beaches down here in bays that are just untouched. The coastline is, it's breathtaking down here.
Yeah. And are you in your house or is this the bus or is the bus coming? What's happening there?
We're in the bus.
We are in a bus fitted out, it's a pretty special motorhome. So, we wanted the space for the two kids. We got two young daughters, 8 and 9.
Yeah.
So, we went big.
Can you give us a whirl? Just like show us, give us a little,
Sure.
take us on a little tour.
Sure can.
Do you want to get turnovers? So back there you got the bunks and drivers. There you've got the other end.
Yeah.
Master where the magic happens.
I bet it does. We got two kids, so obviously some magic's been happening.
No more babies.
So let's this is epic because the reason I wanted to grab you guys is obviously you're part of the collective community. You teamed up and partnered up with Isogenics years and years ago, and I think the thing that was so cool is like having a chat with you at the start of this year, and you're like, holy shit, like you've paid off your mortgage, so you own your house outright. Is that true?
Yeah, so would have been, and this before Isogenics, this was something that was going to take years to do. It just was not possible.
Yeah.
And we really saw that the possibility of doing this, 2 years ago, and and just recently, it's just happened where there's a whole new feeling of freedom, a whole new feeling. It's just this different experience where stress is just getting diminished every single day.
Yeah. So let's start with that, man. Let's start with the end in mind because I want to really capture this, man. I think a lot of people would dream to be in the position that you two are in where you're mortgage free, you're debt free, you got two young, beautiful kids, and you own your home, but you decide to buy a bus and travel around with the kids and have the ultimate breathing space, give them the best experience you can, but travel as well as a family and really experience this together. Plus you got a bit of money in your back pocket, and then you got a business you can do online whilst you travel on the bus. Is that kind of the gist of it?
Yeah. Hit the nail on the head, mate. There's really nothing quite like it. And as you said, if we made the decision to travel, not only Australia in an awesome bus with motorbikes and towing a Jeep, with all the toys and just experiencing different areas, and it's just amazing. So not only Australia, we actually travel the world in between as well. So we took the kids to Disneyland. The kids always wanted to go to Disneyland. We were able to do that. All of last December, we took the kids over to New Zealand to really explore the South Island and Fiji and all these different amazing places around the world. So, and to be able to do that with choice and freedom, is just something else, right?
Oh, man.
You know all about it. It's really hard to explain because it's so different.
Yeah. And it's like the reason it's just so surreal, right? I think a lot of us have the vision and the dream of doing this stuff, right? But we miss the opportunities, or we miss the strategies, or there's just something in our life cycle where we feel like it's not for us, or we feel like it's good for them, but so on and so forth. And I really want to capture that because I remember having a conversation. You came up to me, was it 3 or 4 years ago at an event?
I'll never forget that.
So that was 3 or 4 years ago, right? And just share what you said with me, and I'll share my experience with it because it paints a really nice picture for what then happened.
Okay, perfect. So, and there's reasons why we were driven to make this all work, right? And I'm looking forward to diving deeper into that because we certainly are starting with the end in mind, which I love, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so 3 or 4 years ago, I was standing in a line at one of our amazing events, and I got chatting to you, and you were just like me, typical Aussie guy, And I was just getting started, and you mentioned where you were at. And I was so inspired because at that stage I understood residual income. I knew how powerful it was. It's so different to trading time for money or a linear income. And when you said you're living with freedom, I don't know how far we can go into incomes here, but
share whatever I shared. I can
back then, I mean, I guess the easiest way to explain that, I think when we spoke, you're a 5-star golden circle. If you're wondering what that is, a paid as 5-star is multiple 6 figures. You can Google the Isogenics pay chart and have a look for yourself. But I was like, wow, like it just built my belief even further that I could do this. And because I went through so much stress in my past running traditional businesses and building companies and really struggling with the stress of overhead and time away from the life I wanted to live, because I went through so much stress, that's what drove me. And that's why I saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and I was willing to learn everything I could to make it my reality.
So the cool thing is that your background is like, you're not someone that's been in the health and wellness industry, not someone who is naturally figured out a way to create a leveraged online business. You've never done that before, right?
No, no. I'm so far from tech savvy, it's ridiculous.
So let's go through your background. What was your background, Luke? And then we'll get Robbie to speak, because I want to hear from her as well. But what was your background?
Robbie is amazing. So my background, my only job I've ever had was on the construction site. So started in the building game when I was 14 or 15. Even earlier, I remember probably rocking up to job sites in my nappies with my family and whatnot. So construction, started my own company at about early 20s.
Yep.
And just dove in the deep end because my parents really instilled a strong work ethic, and I was always like worked hard, and it caused a lot of stress, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can dive into it deeper, but that's basically my background is construction, carpentry, and building.
I guess the key point there is there's probably a lot of carpenters and building construction guys listening now, and the point is this is something that anyone can do. And like you said, you figured out, you had this dream, this vision of doing what you're doing now, and you're just looking for a solution and then something that could get you there a little bit quicker. In 3 or 4 years, you've made it your own reality as well, right? And you just leveraged the same thing from a conversation we just had in passing. I remember when you came up to me, dude, and it was like, do you remember that time you had that conversation with me? And I remembered your face, and I remembered all that, but I could not remember anything that I said. And it's just amazing. Some people might be one conversation away from leaning into something that could really change their life, or they could be one conversation away from leaning out. And one, you had the courage to ask. 2, and at the same time, we're just everyday people, man. I would have asked the same question to someone else who I saw, and I was like, this person's in a position that I'd love to get to. I was like, what do you know that I don't? And I challenge everyone out there to reach out to people that might be walking a path that you want to walk in their lifestyle or their abundance or their freedom, and just have that 10 seconds of courage and just say, how do you do it? And that's what we want to plug into now, right? But before we do, Robbie, let's hear a bit about you. What was your background? And I want to just hear a little bit from you.
Okay, so first of all, before I go into that, I can totally relate with what you're saying about if you do see somebody successful, or you do see somebody living that life of that life of freedom and abundance, never be afraid to reach out, because even before we started all of this and we started in network marketing, we always knew that there was more for us. We were just never prepared to settle for the life that we had, because we always felt like there was more for us. And, we would, look around, and there's a particular wealthy area on the Gold Coast, Paradise Point near Sovereign Island, and there's a lot of successful people there. And we would see these people, and they're driving around in these cars and living this life, and we would actually stop them in the street and we would just say, excuse me, like, can we just have a conversation? Like, can we just talk about how you got to where you are? And, you know, we really knew the importance of surrounding ourselves with successful people and really hearing their story. So I can definitely relate with what you're saying there. My background, so 4.5 years ago, we did have the construction company, and I had a homewares business as well, which I started on the side, being a stay-at-home mum. And really, I guess for me, I've always tried to keep busy, and I love being a mum, absolutely love it. But I always knew that, you know, again, there was something more. So I started with the homewares and started doing that as a hobby, which started to take off, which then saw us working 6 to 7 days a week around the clock, non-stop. And we just really got ourselves stuck in the rat race. But at the time, you know, we just thought it was so normal because that's what everybody else was doing. And we really found ourselves trapped within that lifestyle of just, you know, in the grind, and every day felt like Groundhog Day, and we were just doing that same thing over and over and over again. So even though we were doing that, we always had in the back of our mind, there must be more, because it was like the harder that we were working, we were still struggling to stay afloat, and we could not understand it. We're like, how come we're working so many hours in a week? We're absolutely working our butt off, but we're still not progressing to where we want to go. And every time that we'd get that little bit further ahead, you know, something would come up, life would throw us a curveball, and then we'd be back again. So we were constantly just, it was like this tug of war, and always, you know, always trying to find that freedom and find, you know, we thought buying and renovating and selling our houses would be our future. But that also came, you know, with a lot of stress and a lot of risk as well. So we were really torn, and I guess we were always subconsciously searching for something else, but just not knowing at the time exactly what it was.
So that was sort of, that's a nice little lead into where we are now, right? So how did this opportunity show up for you two?
So we completely random. Like we had actually been introduced to network marketing before, so we knew of the industry, we knew of the success that it was creating for people. So I guess in that sense, we were open to that. But you know, getting introduced to what we, you know, the company that we're with now, Isagenix, it actually came completely randomly. So we actually met someone. We had a market, and we were selling some homewares at the time. And we actually met a woman by the name of Kylie, and she actually introduced us to Isagenix just from a conversation and just finding common ground. You know, we were both country girls at heart, you know, riding horses and riding motorbikes and all of that. And we just, you know, we had so much in common, and that's actually what led to us being introduced to Isagenix from a health standpoint.
Yeah, so you both started for the health. You weren't sort of really, you weren't really caught up in the business opportunity or anything. It was just really health.
Not in the beginning. We were talking to Kylie. You know, she was vibrant, 10 years older than us. You know,
six-pack.
Just look healthy. And we were struggling back then. But from the outside looking in, the people in our lives looking in would have thought that we had it all together.
Yeah.
I think that's so common. But really, we were just like a duck underwater, just frantic. And to be honest and vulnerable, we were struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess, so you did it for your own, you got that bit back, and wanting to help and impact other people, and then creating a little side hustle. How did that happen?
Yeah. So, definitely coming in for a health transformation, I guess, as a result of us working and just working around the clock and being parents, you know, as well. We just fell into some really unhealthy eating and drinking habits. And we just, you know, I guess we put our health on the back burner, and we weren't feeling the best that we could be. And we definitely were not showing up as the best parents that we could be either. So that's what led us to really looking at the Isagenix system and having that health transformation. And it wasn't long before feeling the difference. For me, it was day 5, you know, day 5 for me, I started to feel things change, and I knew that it was all that it was cracked up to be, because I'd seen the transformations, I'd seen what people had they were achieving in their 30, 60, 90 days. And I started feeling that for myself. And then 2 weeks after that, Luke had seen the emotional, mental changes and physical changes in me, which led him to getting started. His goals were more building lean muscle. Mine was more for energy and weight loss. So that's what led us to the health transformation. And then from there, it was just organically sharing our love and excitement for how we were feeling. And we just felt on top of the world. And I feel that it was just a natural chain reaction of people picking up on our vibes and picking up on our energy, that something was different about us. And we were radiating, we were so vibrant, and people could pick up on that, which led to them asking us what we were doing. And we were also sharing, with most people that we'll come into contact with, just because we felt so good. And that's what led to the business opportunity for us.
That's epic. So like basically you integrated some intermittent fasting, some high vibration plants, some spark plugs, ate normally, did a little bit of like had your active lifestyle, and you got that type of health change in the first month. Luke jumped on 2 weeks after seeing your results. So it's also like the results were the thing that really created the attraction, right? And then you guys just did what you did naturally. It was organic. It was transparent. You didn't try to hide it. You didn't be like, oh, this is, it's not the best kept secret. If people asked you about it and they saw your energy, like, hey, we're just doing this thing. Was it that easy to like start helping other people get started with it?
I mean, for me, we saw the results and we saw the stories, and you can't argue with the results. In the beginning, when I first, with the system and like I was all for Robbie starting because we saw so many results. Are you there, Rory? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there.
And then, so I initially said no for myself because I didn't want to do a poopy cleanse. I didn't understand it. So once I saw the change in Robbie, I ended up reaching out to some guys like me that were using it and having success with it. And I found out how they were using it. And I quickly learned that it was flexible for many different goals, for many different solutions. And, I'm so glad I reached out because my change, my results were phenomenal. And because we saw it work for so many people, everybody that follows it and uses the systems, they get results. And we saw that, we just saw that people needed it.
Yeah. And as you said that, I think Robbie just looked you up and down as well when you said you got rocking results.
No, I was actually thinking, he actually did get a 6-pack for the first time in his life. So, the first time that I had seen it anyway. So I was impressed with that. But I was actually thinking we do actually have our transformation photos printed out. And we're just at a friend's house now. And I was just thinking, I wonder if they're here and we could actually show them. Are they? Yeah, I'll go grab them just so people
go for it.
What it was like.
But and I just wanted to touch on this as well, Rory, if it's okay.
Of course.
The transition. So we started generating a side hustle and some extra money, additional income to pay for those annoying bills, right? We've all got mortgages, we've all got rent, we've all got electricity bills, rates, you name it. So to create that side hustle to cover those annoying bills was amazing. And then when we really truly understood the possibilities and residual income and the light at the end of the tunnel, the transition was simple but not easy. It took effort to move forward, but it was so worth it.
All right, well let's come back to that in a sec. Let's check out these before and afters.
You'll laugh. So if you can see this top photo, so that was actually us.
I'll just up a bit higher. There we go. Yep.
This is actually us before we started with the kids, and then obviously, things started to change. Luke's transformation. So this is Luke.
Oh my God.
Bounce chicka wow wow.
So I'm not sure if you can see that.
So you upgraded your husband, Robbie.
I did.
Super stressed. Super just lost.
Dying on the inside, lost. To super happy. And then mine. So here's mine. So, I was just burnt out, stressed, bloated, fatigued, just really not loving myself at all, and just punishing my body, just really not even caring. And then that was me after 30 days. And then just some
and then
lifestyle,
long-term sustainability,
sustainable
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years later.
Yeah, so it's interesting, like when we look back at those photos, just at I guess the people that we were just struggling to get through each day. And
at the time though, we thought we were killing it, right? At the time we thought rock on.
Yeah, I know, man. It's like, you think it's normal, right? Like, and this is, I relate to it as well. Like, I was a burnt out health professional. I thought that was normal, but I didn't know what normal felt like. Well, I hadn't felt it for a long time, so I didn't know that I was in a bit of a rut.
Yeah.
So do you think a lot of people relate to that? Like, not even knowing they're in a rut, but then they could just literally just try something like this and just feel a whole new normal?
Yeah, 100%.
I think so. Like, I don't want to speak for everybody and anybody, but I think that could be a possibility.
Yeah. Well, the simplicity, right? It's intermittent fasting, high vibration plants, right? And then that's pretty much the program in a nutshell. And then it's like you get the results, you integrate it, and then you start sharing it with other people. So now let's talk about, like, how did you guys help your first 10 people? Like, it was about you and like your health journey, but how did it become about the first 10 people, and how did you help them?
I'd say simply talking to people and sharing our story and other people's stories.
Yeah. We always knew that, like right in the very beginning when we started, like we were told that if we were to share it with a couple of people, we would actually get some money back. So even though, we didn't come in like for the business opportunity, it was for a health transformation. We always knew that. So we thought, well, if there's going to be, $300 to $400 on the table for us, and, we can actually start with a few friends or family and do it together and stay accountable, we'd be crazy not to do that. So that's actually how we started. Like, we started with a few friends and family, and, we ended up getting that money into our bank account that following week. And, to actually get that, and you're just helping your friends and family, and you're doing something fun, and you're getting healthy together, that was just a no-brainer for us. And then as we continued on, obviously we're all starting to feel the benefits. We're starting to feel great. And then it just became that natural progression of helping more people. And, we were just putting out a Facebook post, but we were never thinking like, oh, we'll put out a Facebook post to try and get people. We were never in that mindset. It was always just sharing with excitement and enthusiasm coming from the heart, and being authentic and just sharing how we were feeling, which caught the eye of actually one of my girlfriends in Melbourne. And, instantly she messaged me and she said, what are you doing? How do you have so much energy? Like, how are you losing weight? What are you doing? I need what you've got. And that led her to getting started. And, for her in the beginning, she said, I don't want anything to do with the business. And I said, well, that's fine. You don't need to. Like, do it for you. It's for you, your health, putting yourself first. Like, that's awesome. And, the same thing with her. I shared with her that she could start with a few friends, and she ended up getting some money back as well. To cut a long story short, she's actually a multiple six-figure income earner in our organization today, where she's done so much and really has, paid off her debt as well. And they were, traveling Australia with their kids, and she's been able to completely transform her life, not only physically and financially. And that was just from a simple Facebook post about me talking about energy and talking about how I was feeling.
Simpler the better, eh? It's like, I woke up feeling amazing today.
Yeah.
People are like, what the hell? You're feeling amazing?
Holy moly. That just blows me away, because I think that's the essence of what this is all about, right? And like, not everyone's aligned with health and wellbeing. Not everyone's aligned with helping people. Not everyone's conscious and willing and open to really look into this stuff. But the reason I just want to say it again and again and again, the reason why I love everything that you guys are about is you hit the nail on the head like 3 seconds ago, because network marketing is something that anyone can do, which means that anybody can, be an ambassador for a company or for a product or for a brand, right? Which means we can attract the best and worst of humanity in the same space. But at the same time, 95% of people come in for their health. And that's such a beautiful statistic for something that's word of mouth based. And then there's people like you who actually come in and you're willing to learn and be open and transparent and honest. And do you think that, like, amongst all that, you've been in this for 5 or 6 years. Do you think the honesty, the transparency, and the realness is a thing that has helped you guys succeed?
Yeah, 100%. And sometimes 100%. It's not easy to do, to be honest and vulnerable and straight up with people.
Yeah. It's definitely been a journey. I mean, the last 4.5 years for us has been a massive journey, and we're still learning every single day. I mean, we are far from knowing it all, and we never will. But when we came into this, regardless of our traditional business and what we'd done in our life and different jobs and travel and whatever it was, once we saw the opportunity and we saw that light at the end of the tunnel, we literally had to unlearn everything that we knew, and we had to start fresh. And we came into this as students because we knew that it was a profession, and with each profession, you know, it's really taking the time to learn the skills and to grow yourself as a person. So we knew that, and we were just so eager to learn, and we were so coachable. And you know, if there was an event and someone was, you know, telling us to get to an event, like we were there. Like we were just so open to listening to the podcast.
If someone says you need to be here, we'd say we've already got tickets.
Yeah. So, and I feel that's a huge thing. Like if you know, if you are looking at it as the multi-million-dollar business that it is, and you're prepared to come in and leave your ego at the door and come into this completely fresh and learn the skills and know that it's going to take time, and there are going to be many ups and downs and many lessons along the way, but there's always something to learn, and there's always something to take on board, and, you know, just continue moving forward. And I feel that's what we've been able to do, is just learning so many lessons along the way, always looking forwards. We were never looking sideways, you know, comparing to anybody. We were always just on our own journey, and just welcoming of anybody that wanted to link arms with us and come with that, you know, just come with us and achieving their goals, and together really, you know, doing it as a collective, and really keeping the main thing. And that's what I feel we've been able to do these last 4.5 years.
That's so freaking insane. And like, how many people have you gone to collectively impact now? Like, by you guys saying yes to it, how many people have been impacted as a result?
So yeah, and the magic word I kept with, when all the awesome stuff Robbie was saying, I just kept thinking of the word consistency. That's where it's at. So we've personally helped, you know, between 150 and 200 people get started. Personally, and then the whole idea is to help people get started, but then help people get paid, right? Help people, support them towards their physical goals, support people towards their financial goals, and that number has grown to over 11,000 people.
That's crazy. And like, as a business, right? Because this is, a lot of people are looking at this stuff, and how much does, in the last year, what are your overheads for this business? How much does it cost you to run this?
Yeah. So coming from traditional business, like, this is huge. Like, it blows me away where there's next to zero overheads with this. It's the simplest thing ever. There's no holding onto stock. There's no postage. There's no handling. There's no dealing with the accounts, invoicing. There's no leasing. There's no electrical bills. It's just the food we eat, right?
Yeah. So how much is that for you two? Yeah. How much is? Sorry, dude.
Yeah. So which helps us feel amazing. I mean, it varies. It varies, but it can be as little as $180 a month, which is, what's that?
A month or a week?
$180 a month.
Yeah.
Like, that's the minimum, and then it varies. $180 a month is just nothing. It's like, how much is that per day? I don't know. Have we even worked that out? $45 a day. I mean, no, a week.
Yeah, you got it.
That's crazy. I mean, you spend more than that on coffee.
Yeah. So in a year, basically, as a family, to run this business, you're spending $3-5 grand, maybe.
Yeah. It'd be a few grand for the whole year, right?
And then I guess you're eating your overhead, so that's basically just to pay for your products.
Yep.
And your smoothie bowls for the kids and things like that.
Yep.
And then, so on top of that, obviously there's some events and some like training and stuff like that. Would you add like another 5 or 10 grand on for events and that type of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, probably less, but and the events, they're like a party. They're so much fun. I love catching up with people like yourself and getting around the community of positive, like-minded, awesome people.
Yeah.
You know, I've met the most beautiful people through this industry, and you know, it's just, yeah, like I do it in a heartbeat.
And dude, and let's capture the icing on the cake. So obviously money is just energy and it gets recirculated and reshared, but what's an example, and obviously disclaimers and everything aside, you don't have to tell us if you don't want to, but what would be like an average pay week for you and your family that goes in your bank account as a result of helping 11,000 people over the last 4.5 years, which is essentially like a university degree that you've got to earn as you learn and get paid for, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the easiest way to answer this is to, again, Google the rank chart or the Isogenics star chart and find it. You know, currently we're a 6-star golden circle, which, you know, to earn that kind of money traveling full time is just, it's mind blowing.
Is that between, I think it's multiple six figures, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, and it fluctuates, but I'd say between, you know, $6,000 and $11,000 a week. Sometimes more, and it's
wait.
It takes the words out of my mouth talking about it.
Dude, but it's insane. Like the essence of this is, man, is like, one, I wanted to get you guys in front of people because, you know, I was 2 years into my journey and you had a conversation with me and you asked me, is this real? And it was real for me at the time. And I'd asked someone the same conversation 2 years before. And, you know, like to be able to go on and impact like 11,000 people, even the story you shared about your friend Robbie from Melbourne and how she's gone on to do the same. Like, this is the thing, is like, it becomes this collective tribe. It's not just you like making money from friends, or it's not just you succeeding by yourself. It's like the ripple effect of what you've done. Like, there might be someone in that $11,000 that gets the same opportunity. They're going to go to the next event. They're going to ask the same person, is this real too? Right. And then they might go do the same thing in their own unique way. And we'll be chucking them on a Facebook Live. So I just wanted to really capture this because, you know, as a family in your 30s, with 2 young, amazing children, like you own your house outright, you got a business that you're running for like 5 to 10 grand a year in overheads. You eat your overheads, and you know it's generating, you know, 5 to 10 grand a week, and obviously it fluctuates, and disclaimers and all that type of stuff. Please don't take that as typical. It's just, there's something out there, right? There's something that people can lean into with this. There's something that people can check out. And if you're anyone out there that, you know, might be a country girl at heart, you might be like a, you know, construction worker like Luke, or maybe you're just like a mum or a dad who's at a wit's end and you're just looking for something, either just for your health or the potential of what could become of the opportunity, in the same way you guys stepped into that. I just wanted to capture this for them. So do you reckon we've nailed it, or is there anything else we need to share?
Well, one thing, the thing that just absolutely gives me so much gratitude is we're only just beginning, right? So we're still 4-year apprentices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once you truly understand residual income and the power of that, you know, we've got a business center that's willable to our children, where they're looked after. And I mean, the list goes on. It's just, we're just getting started. That's the whole thing
and
about it.
Something that I would love to share is that even though you know, we're 4.5 years in, I truly honestly believe that we're just scratching the surface now. And you know, Isogenics is becoming more popular. Obviously, you know, it can achieve results you can't get anywhere else. Like, that's proven, that's a fact. Like, that's the statement. It just is. But it's definitely not too late.
Oh, no way.
Definitely not too late for anyone. Like, to give you an example, like, we met a beautiful couple actually on Instagram. We still don't know who touched base with who and who connected with who first, but you know, we connected on Instagram. We're complete strangers, and they were inspired by travel, and they've got 4 little kids, and they always wanted to travel Australia in a bus, and that's how we started connecting. And you know, we built that friendship, and we have such an awesome connection. And obviously, you know, she was a burnt out mum just like me, and really lacking in energy and needed something for her health, and she got started. And her hubby, you know, used to be a PT, used to own sup stores. You know, he's done so much in his life as well. And he got started, and they've only recently just started sharing, and they've just had a $3,000 week last week.
Whoa.
Just by helping their friends and family.
Yeah.
And this is like, if people can really get this, is like, it's not too late. Like, it's only just beginning now. And it's, the products are amazing. It achieves amazing results, but it's really dependent on the efforts that you put in. And if you come into this and you see the opportunity and you're willing to put in the work, just like our friends, you know, Mick and Beck,
Mick and Beck Jessup.
Yeah. So if you haven't heard of their names yet, you know, you will do that. They're just doing amazing things, and they're helping so many of their friends and family who we're meeting now that we're here. And you just hear their stories, and it's like tears in the eyes. Like, they're with, some of their friends are within their first 30 days on the program, and they're having these incredible transformations, like emotionally, mentally, physically. And it's like, wow, like, that is the power of it. You can literally come into this, like, today, tomorrow, get started, have your own transformation, and really create the life that you've always dreamed of. And that's what these guys are doing. And you know, that's what I love. And I love that it's such an equal opportunity for everybody. No one's stuck under anybody. You know, when Kylie got us started, she was earning $20,000 a week. I know you've had Kylie on one of these calls sharing her story. She was earning $20,000 a week when we met her. Now she's earning more than $40,000 a week. But with that aside, her school friends that got her started, they were the number one income earners of the company, and Kylie has since overtaken them. And what we love about that is it shows that it's such an equal opportunity for everybody, and it does not matter about the timing. It just is dependent on what you are going to give, and how bad you want it, and how hungry you are, and what efforts you're going to put in. It's definitely not too late. I feel we're only just getting started.
And you've hit the nail on the head, because we've only launched in 16 out of 88 countries. You know, so we are truly just getting started. We're probably one of the youngest companies in the shared economy era as well.
That was my secret. You got that too?
Yeah.
That blows me away every time, because it shows the strength in each market.
Yeah.
Wow. I see that.
I see that, man. And I'm going real dark here because the sun's going down in Bali. But guys, I just wanted to really honor your time, and hopefully for Nikki and Reese and Rita and Sarah, Kia, Kelly, Jess, Emma, Chris, thanks for listening all the way. And for anyone on Facebook who's watching us live right now, thank you so much. And if this resonates with anybody that you love or know, please just tag them in. And like, this is all referral based, so we all just connect with each other and we support each other. There's no competition in our network. So, you know, if someone like Luke introduces you to this, like, we send you back to Luke, like, and vice versa. We just want to help each other, help the people we care about, and let's go have a big impact. And you guys are 11,000. I can't wait to chat with you when you've created a ripple effect that's maybe created 50,000 or 100,000, and start to hear the stories that are going on there. So Kylie said we're in the second wave, and I'm in the second wave with you guys. So hopefully we can do it together and have a really big impact.
We can't wait to come over and see you in Bali. And, you know, we're just so grateful to have met you and to have the friendship that we do with you. And, you know, we're all in this together, and what an exciting time.
Absolutely. And there's a room over there for you guys when you come, and the kids can take the room upstairs, and I'll jump next door with my mate Ryan. So we're all good.
Thank you for having us, champion.
Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for your comments. I'm just seeing the comments pop up now. So thank you so much.
Yeah, that's it. All right, big love, guys. Jess Forrest says legends. Kia, the story really moved me. Biggest inspo. So peace out, and we'll chat with you very soon.
Thanks, Rory.
See you, mate.
See you guys.
Catch ya.